She called him slave and spat in his face. He crushed her in the arena in 15 seconds without a word. They brought him into the arena in chains. His name was Kade, though no one cared. Not the crowd that jeered as he shuffled forward. Not the announcer who barked. The slave from the outer pits. Not even the guards, who tugged his collar and laughed as he staggered under the weight of his own cuffs. To them, he was a thing, a warm body for blood sport. Across the sand stood Serina Valess, highborn of the seventh ring, daughter of a warlord, champion of the queen's arena, draped in silver, armed with twin blades. Her armor gleamed like the sun itself. Her record? 31 fights, 31 wins. Flawless. As Kade approached, Serina smirked. "That's what they send me?" she said, circling him like a lioness. "A chained beast from the gutters?" Kade said nothing. "Look at you," she sneered, stepping close. "A collar suits you." Then, without warning, she spat in his face. The crowd erupted in laughter. Kade's expression didn't change. He blinked once, slowly. The horns blared. The fight had begun. What followed lasted 15 seconds. Serina lunged first, fast as lightning, her blades aiming for his throat. But Kade wasn't there. He stepped aside like he'd seen the move 100 times before. She stumbled forward, off balance. He caught her arm, spun her using her own momentum, and slammed her into the sand. The entire arena gasped. She scrambled up, furious, eyes wide. He was already behind her, one blow to the back of her leg. She dropped to one knee, one blow to the back of her shoulder. Her armor cracked. She turned, swinging wildly. He ducked, swept her legs. She hit the ground, flat, and then he stood over her. His hand didn't rise to strike. He didn't posture, didn't gloat. He simply looked at her and waited. The horns blew again. Match over. The arena was silent. Serina, once the undefeated queen of the sands, lay gasping in the dirt. Kade turned and walked away, still without a word. He became a legend overnight. They called him the Mute. The crowd didn't know who he was, where he came from, or how he fought with such precision and calm. Rumors spread like wildfire. He's a former war machine. No, he was trained in the silent monasteries. He's a cursed soul. All they knew was this. He had destroyed Serina Valess without speaking, without flinching, without hate. And he did it in 15 seconds. But Serina wasn't done. Days later, she limped into the infirmary, where Kade was chained between matches. No armor, no guards, no pride. "I came to see what kind of man you are," she said. Kade didn't look up. "You made me a mockery," she whispered, in front of thousands. He remained still. "I deserved it." Silence. "I grew up believing slaves were dirt," she said, "that your kind were beneath mine." She stepped closer. "But you didn't curse me. You didn't humiliate me. You just beat me." A pause. "I needed that." Kade turned to her. His eyes were not angry, not cruel, just tired. She blinked. "I was wrong," she said. Still, he said nothing. Then finally he spoke, voice low, cracked from disuse. "Is that why you're here?" He asked. "To be forgiven?" She faltered. "Yes." He stood, walked to the bars of his cage, and stared at her through them. "I don't forgive easy," he said. "But I don't hate you." Her eyes watered. "I don't want your mercy," she said. He shook his head. "This isn't mercy." Then he added softly, "You were strong, but you weren't kind." Weeks passed. Serina left the arena. She gave up her title, her armor, her fame. She went to the pits where the slaves were kept. She worked among them, learned their names, their scars. their stories. She began to see. Kade, meanwhile, rose through the arena like a storm. Every fight ended quickly, not because he wanted glory, but because he wanted freedom. And then one day, the queen offered it. One final fight, she said. Win and you walk free. The opponent? None other than Serina Valess. The final battle. They stood in the sand once more. But this time, Serina wore no armor, just plain leathers. A single wooden training sword in her hand. Kade looked confused. This isn't a fight, she said. He stepped forward. She tossed the sword at his feet. I yield. The crowd booed. The queen stood from her throne. This is mockery. But Serina raised her hands. You wanted a show? Here it is. A woman once filled with pride now kneels to the man she wronged. She knelt in the sand, and the silence that followed was louder than any roar. Kade looked at her for a long time. Then he turned to the queen. I accept, he said. Let it end. Freedom, finally. Kade walked out of the arena that day, not as a slave, not as a beast, but as a man. And Serina walked beside him. No chains, no titles, just equals. The end.